guys get more? Okay, guys, let's do another one. Ready? Let's roll.
Sounds good.
And action.
What's with the haircut?
If you shave right over the top of the spinal column, you get a cleaner signal from the cables.
They're using the cables already? But they haven't been released yet. No, I haven't.
Welcome to the Special Economic Zone, Maxine.
Cut. Another good one. Great. Okay, let's go in for tight. Okay.
So to make big sci-fi on a limited budget, for us, we've come from a place where our first kind of feature we made for $700, very questionable production values, and then we made Ghost Wish It Jobs.
And to survive, some of them have to do jobs that no one in China would do.
We released this in 2012. That was a budget of $4,000. And now with this budget, we have more money, but it's still very indie.
We've had some practice where we did some lo-fi sci-fi. So, you know, we were luckily well rehearsed in finding ways to bring in that production quality of science fiction without the dollars.
Good job, guys, and one more time. And action.
Another of the challenges of the project was to create sort of like a future that is going to be sort of believable and exciting for people, but on a pretty tight budget. And I think between making sort of like some props that sort of evoke that the camera can capture on a small scale, and also we have two really amazing digital artists who are involved in the project. Their work, I think, will make kind of the big picture. Their work will fill out the big picture to create this sort of big sci-fi world. And my work with the little props will hopefully create kind of the small detailed look of that. And hopefully between the two, we'll be able to convince people that it's some kind of elaborate future.
I think you just kind of be imaginative. Like, we're not going to make rocket cars. We don't have the budget for that. And I also think it's disingenuous. Like, they're not going to be rocket cars in 10 years. But one of my favorite little props is this little stupid dome that we put on things. And it's like the Google car of the future, right? It's just this little dome, and you put it on top of a car, and all of a sudden it looks like a car of the future. I don't know, just little twists on what you have today, I think is kind of how you build the future from 10 years, right? I think for myself and for some of the other people on the crew, like, I really wanted to treat it, you know, I don't want to just think of it as just a web series. And when I hear people, if anybody says that on set, I get mad. I'm like, fuck you, like, this is like this. We want it to look like a movie, right? Like, I care about the delivery format. I think it's interesting, but I want to kind of bring like that cinematic movie quality to the web series. So when this thing is as ambitious as it is, I was like, great, like we'll try and pull it off, and it's really hard in 10 days. We're pushing everybody on 15-hour days, but I think like in the end it'll look better and feel better. It'll feel more like a movie than what some people would call just a web series.
It's kind of a lot of, I think like a lot of heart goes into it to make it happen. We basically just, a combination of pulling favors, trying to treat the cast and crew very well so we can go far on a limited budget, and kind of doing a lot of upfront work so that when we're in production, it goes as smoothly as possible and as economically as possible.
What's also really interesting about this crew is that a lot of the people who are involved in it, I've known through kind of the DIY community, kind of indie culture. So it's been really fun in that regard. Like, everyone is sort of, I think, being pushed out of their comfort zones, or they're doing something new, and they're kind of to a certain degree autodidacts. So yeah, it's been a really fun time working on this. exhausting but fun.
Everybody in the project has a DIY background, whether it's poetry or filmmaking or whatever. We've all been doing it for 10 or 15 years, and for people to succeed in any of those things, basically you have to have, it's got to have community support. So you build your own communities, and I think generally we're pretty good at building little communities around a project, right? So I think we did that with Ghost. We built a really good community around it, and we built off of that. So the things that we started putting in place like 4 or 5 years ago with the no budget are continuing into the small budget, you know, and hopefully into maybe a medium or large budget at some point. And let